course, they haven't been able to play singles at the highest level. Christ is the man in charge of the second of today's finals, in what will hopefully wrap up a very entertaining week's tennis. Björkman to get the first set underway. That's a terrific start. You get much better than that. Thomas, born in Canton, Ohio, still lives there. 6'4", 200 pounds, so cuts a formidable figure on the court. Very, very difficult to pass at the net. McEnroe just 5'11", Björkman an inch taller. Both will be looking to use their speed and agility about the court. Björkman's forehand volley can be susceptible at times. McEnroe, of course, we know, has an exceptionally good overhead, and then nice combination. Whilst McEnroe was back playing the smash, Björkman looking for the interception on the very next shot. So important in doubles to make the first serve and the first volley, and then let the opponents work hard in order to try and win the point. If they cannot come up with something exceptional, then so be it. Just caught the edge of the line. Giving it a close look, but not going to get any change out of the umpire at this stage. It's a good move by Thomas, even though he wasn't able to intercept the volley. Did enough to put Björkman off. So the new rules dictate that once the scores reach deuce, there will just be 1 point to decide matters. The receivers do have choice of sides. And of course, they've tried to enhance the viewing pleasure of the fans by making the doubles just a little quicker. They just play 2 sets, as I mentioned earlier, then a champion's tiebreak to decide matters. And of course, this 1 point deuce means that you don't get these long service games that tend to go on and on. Björkman and McEnroe lead 1 game to love. Goldstein has enjoyed success on the doubles tour. 2 finals in Brighton and here 3 years ago. And both Thomas and Goldstein went to Stanford. Both had pretty good collegiate careers. Thomas won the NCAA team championships in 95-96, and Goldstein reached the NCAA singles final in 98, losing to his teammate Bob Bryan. Björkman, of course, in singles was ranked as high as number 4 in the world. One stage back in 97. McEnroe, of course, number 1 in the world in singles 26 years ago. Amazing. Good hands by Goldstein at the net. And always nice to hold your opening service game. Not sure who looks the older of the two, McEnroe or Thomas. McEnroe's hair may be grey, but it's almost all there. Thomas, of course, struggling in that department, although he's only 31 years of age. What McEnroe lacks in pace, he tries to make up for him with variation.
Well, I didn't hear the machine beep.
100% that the machine beeped.
Okay, then I missed it. But it's close to me.
How do you miss it when you have it right there?
I know, I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, so I can see that sometimes it doesn't. If it just hit, and the machine doesn't go on.
Right.
This one went off.
I didn't hear it go off.
You can't check to see if it went off, that serve?
If you want to, on that particular one, if you want to test it, I can see it.
On that serve, no, the serve was just hit. Yeah. Can you check to see if that went off?
There's no way to check.
Björkman's adamant that there's a let. They do have a machine, a sensor, which helps the umpire decide whether the ball does clip the top of the net as it passes it. Björkman was adamant there that it went off, but Norm Chris missed it if it did. That's why it's so important to make the first serve and the first volley. It is difficult in doubles to find any openings in the court. Been serving well all week. That's a formidable record, especially with the 1-point due scoring system. Quick hands from both McEnroe and Thomas.
30.
John's father didn't recognize him initially without the floppy hat. He used to wear those regular visits to the All England Club.
Do you think the machine went off that time too?
That's good doubles all round. Goldstein was looking for the interception, had his nose over the net. McEnroe did well to get that first volley by him. Good court coverage by Björkman. And perfect shot selection from the maestro. Game to win. Both Björkman and McEnroe now have managed to hold serve. And they lead 2-1. Well, of course, the doubles has created an awful lot of interest this week, and the ATP Tour have made a concerted effort this year to change the rules to try and get more people interested in it, but it is very difficult when you've seen a final as good as the one that we saw earlier today between Andy Murray and Leighton Hewitt. Murray, of course, winning that one 7-6 in the third. You can see that most of the fans then feel that they've seen enough tennis and there's not enough on offer in the doubles to make the majority of them stay. And that's why it's then difficult to sell the doubles event on its own. And that's why many of the tennis promoters feel that it's a little bit of a waste of time and money putting on the doubles events. And that's, of course, what the doubles players tend to complain about. They feel that they're getting shortchanged. Tournaments aren't promoting them as well as they should be. And that's what many of the concerns were last year, that many of the best doubles players in the world voiced. Brilliant hands. Björkman will have known that the volley was coming at him, so he'll have been ready once he saw the height of the return. And of course he's had years and years of perfecting those reactions. You're loving the wrong guy. And one of the opposing players is 6'4", and the other one's 5'10", and you go over the taller of the two. It's a lesson, I guess, Björkman will learn very quickly. And McEnroe does it, but it was more by luck than judgment. Serve into his body was taken a little late. But it matters not, because it's given the veterans a break point. Really good second serve, got an awful lot of work on that ball. Enough topspin to get it up off the court. McEnroe, of course, with traditional grips, especially on that forehand. He's more around to the continental than the western or the semi-western, so he finds it hard to come over the ball when it bounces that high. It's still a break point, because this is the deciding point. McEnroe to return. A very nervous volley. McEnroe sensibly making the opposition play. Thomas will be bitterly disappointed with his inability there. Stone hands give Björkman and McEnroe the initial break of serve. They lead 3-1. Terrific combination. Björkman sensibly taking the lob, the younger of the two by quite some distance. Exceptionally well to get that ball back in play, and then McEnroe took over. Some aggressive ground strokes. Thomas again found wanting the net. McEnroe in his prime would have struggled to get that ball back in play. It was a good tactic to hit the ball straight at the opposition in doubles, especially when you're close to the net. Quality of the serve meant that it was very, very difficult to play anything other than a very defensive return. It's a lovely backhand volley. Not only was he able to create an angle with it, but he was able to generate enough pace to get the job done as well, which is easier said than done with the toughest shot in the book there. No problem so far for McEnroe and Björkman. I think everybody involved with the tournament wanted to see McEnroe make it through to the final. And having come this far, I think it would be nice, obviously, for him to do the job properly, as he was quoted as saying the other day. Many people felt that they had a chance at the beginning of the week. Much depended on their opening match, and they did gel together well. This is the first time that they've played with each other, so you never really know, even though individually they're both outstanding doubles players in their own right. Doesn't necessarily mean that they'll make an excellent doubles pair. And they've played well throughout the week. 1-4. Looks a little mechanical, that serve. In stark contrast to the way that McEnroe plays the game. Useful hands from Björkman in the net. It's not easy to get the lob volley over the heads of the opposition, especially when one of them is 6'4" tall, but the Swede successful on that occasion. McEnroe finishing the point off nicely. That's why they combine well. Found their range on the return yet. Missing many more than they made. That was a little wayward too. Must be quite daunting for these two coming up against McEnroe. Of course, that's the advantage that McEnroe has. One of the greatest players ever to grace the courts. Steps onto one with considerable baggage, but also very much in the knowledge that many of the players that he comes up against that are of this age will have grown up watching him play. He was at his very best and will have wanted to emulate all that he's achieved in the game. Lovely combination. Wasn't sure what Goldstein was doing there initially by staying at the back when his partner was moving into the net, but all worked out well in the end. Dare I say it, but McEnroe just looked slightly slow there, coming in behind the serve. Good angle on the return, but should have been able to get there to cover it. Goldstein was in a perfect position. Lovely combination. Sensible return, and McEnroe unable to do enough with that first volley. Put it straight onto his opponent's racket. Facing 4 break points. It's wide. McEnroe has broken for the first time this week to love, and we're back on serve. McEnroe and Björkman still lead though, 4 games to 3. Well, this isn't the only tournament in the ATP calendar this week. Big event over in Marseille. Oh no, Clement. Surprise winner, has to be said. Needed a wild card to get into the main draw. Made the most of it to defeated Richard Gasquet, 5th seed, French #1 in the first round, 6-love in the third. And then the talented Spaniard, Fernando Verdasco, left-hander, in the second round, 7-6, 6-3. And then Fabrice Santoro, who defeated British Greg Rosetsky in the second round. Rosetsky making his first appearance on the ATP Tour this year after the birth of his first child. Fernando beat Santoro in 3 sets. Very tight match it was as well, 7-6 in the third. But then played even better in the semi-finals, defeating the world #2, Spain's #1, Rafael Nadal. 2-6, 6-3, 7-5. Far and away the best win of Clement's career. Nadal, of course, making his first appearance this year. And the news was good. No problems with the foot that forced him to pull out of the Tennis Masters Cup towards the end of last year. And then Clement defeated the 6th seed from Croatia, Mario Ancic, in the finals, 6-4, 6-2, to delight the vast majority of the fans over there in Marseille. On serve in the opening set, Goldstein, 3-4. Sometimes it's difficult for the incoming volleyer, having just served, to pick the ball up when they think their partner is going to make the interception, and at the very last minute they realise that they haven't been able to make the distance and they've got to take care of the first volley. It can be very off-putting. Now this opening set nicely poised. Not much to choose between these two teams. Martina Navratilova, of course, says that she's going to try and play a full schedule this year. Of course, she plays just doubles and the occasional singles match on grass. It's all the body can handle. It's a very simple game. If you can do the basics well, it'll be tough to beat. That means getting a high percentage of first serves in, making most of the first volleys, and then waiting for the opposition to do something a little special to win the point. And more often than not, that won't happen. It's a very sensible smash, timed perfectly and aimed right up the center of the court, which is often the best place to go in doubles. Well, I was mentioning that every There's a big indoor tournament in Marseille this week too. There's also a little bit of action on the clay over in Buenos Aires. Initially, David Nalbandian was the top seed there. He had to withdraw, and therefore there was opportunities for other players to take advantage of. Spain's Carlos Moya, the 5th seed, former world #1, of course, former French Open champion too, came out on top in the end, winning the final 7-6, 6-4 against the Italian #1 Filippo Villandri, who was seeded #6 this week. Moya's big win, though, came in the semi-finals over his fellow countryman, former world #1 Juan Carlos Ferrero. Moya winning that one 3-6, 7-6, 6-4. Guillermo Correa was also in action. He was defeated in the second round by Ruben Ramirez Hidalgo of Spain, 7-5, 6-2. So Correa still struggling for form this year, but nice to see Moya pick up another title. It was the 3rd time, in fact, that he's been able to win that title in Buenos Aires. Serving to stay in the opening set, 4-5. Just not quite quick enough to pick up those reflex volleys. Again, exceptionally good volley, going back up the middle of the court, causing confusion in the McEnroe-Björkman camp. No, not quite timing the volley, but job done nevertheless. Terrific hands from Thomas. McEnroe will be disappointed with his inability to make that shot, which he will class as relatively simple. Great return initially, and he knows he should have done more. Comprehensive service game. I think both Goldstein and Thomas were a little nervous at the beginning of the match. That contributed to them losing serve early on, but now they've started to play a little better. Brilliant pickup. Great return of serve. Stroke of genius from McEnroe. Make that pickup. The ball did skid off the line, which made life a little more difficult for Goldstein. That'll do it. It was nice at the ripe old age of 47. To pull out the occasional ace. Quite a record here in doubles. Won the title 7 times. 6 of those with Peter Fleming and once with Australian Mark Woodford. That's brought the crowd to their feet. Terrific tennis from Björkman. Did exceptionally well here. Little hot dog action. Lovely lob. Support the use of the wrist. And again, Thomas was found wanting on the low volley. Björkman and McEnroe back into the lead once more. 6 games to 5, first set. Always nice for these stadiums to have the big giant video screens to entertain the fans at the change of ends. Often they'll throw in video packages, highlights of the match so far, perhaps some statistics, at the very least close-ups of the players. It's almost become a requirement for any of the big tournaments now. Fans expect to see it. They expect to be entertained, not only when the players are on court, but also at the change of ends. Why not? Pay good money, come through the turnstiles. Tennis now, rather than being a standalone sport, very much of the entertainment industry. Shame. Big point. McEnroe needed to make the return, put a little extra pressure on the opposition. like it. Björkman also was in an excellent position there. And a lot of pressure. Goldstein. Perfect move at the right time. Lovely combination. Björkman making a simple return up the middle of the course, and McEnroe gliding to his right. He's earned his team a set point. It's a brilliant response. Goldstein doesn't have the biggest serve in the world, but it's hit as accurately as that. There's not much McEnroe can do about it. Shame. Couple of set points. Kind of begging. Didn't really do enough with the return. Björkman will feel disappointed he wasn't able to get that ball back in play. So a tie-break will decide matters here. Level. Good return of serve, not really enough on the delivery. Straight into the hitting zone, exactly where McEnroe wanted it. Made it. Not sure initially what Björkman was trying to achieve with the little volley. Good reactions from McEnroe. I think the ball was just so close to the top of the net. Björkman couldn't really do much more than that, but just a reflex action more than anything else. And McEnroe got the job done in the end. Standing firm. It's a return he should have made, really. He knows it. Still got the upper hand in this tiebreak. Again, the shot down the middle, paying dividends. So difficult for the opposition to decide who's going to take the ball, and doesn't give them any angle to play with. Much more difficult to put the ball away, especially when the ground stroke is hit as well as the last one was by Björkman. What a point. Fantastic pickup. Couldn't really have hit a better return. Björkman anticipated the fact that the opposition were going to try and intercept his volley, so the little bunt up the line was perfectly timed. Set point. That'll do it. And Björkman just coming out on top after a hard-fought opening. What a fantastic achievement that would be. It would be McEnroe's 70th ATP doubles title and Björkman's 44th. And you have to say, given the fact that they've pocketed that opening set, that they are the firm favourites. But given the scoring system, these things can change very quickly. It's just a two-set match, virtually. If Goldstein and Thomas were to win this set, a champion's tiebreak would decide matters, and we all know that at best anything can happen in tiebreaks. So still a lot to play for. Need to maintain their concentration. Length on the first volley. job well done. The opening service game. Got to try and put the loss of that opening set behind them. Concentrate very much on holding their own serve. That's all you can really do in doubles. Take care of your own deal. And if you do get opportunities to break, obviously try and make the most of them. But if not, worst thing that can happen is you find yourself in another tie break. So that's very much the mentality of the good doubles pairs. Smash won the point, but it was the lob that set it up so beautifully for Thomas. Not sure whether McEnroe thought that the ball was out. Change out of the lines person, not the umpire. That's what most of the fans have come to see, so it's not one to usually disappoint.
Make sure you give us those calls too, okay?
Brilliant second serve, some lovely disguise on it. When he was playing at his best, it was almost impossible for his opponents to get any kind of lead on the serve. Such was his variation. Björkman's looked sharp all week. These two really do combine very nicely together. A good service game. One game apiece. Been a pretty entertaining first hour. The majority of the fans, I think, pleased with what they've seen so far. return needs to be so very good in order to have a chance to stay in the rally with Thomas all over the net like a rash. Brilliantly done, but it was Björkman who deserves a lot of the credit for keeping his team in the rally. Terrific hands. So quick to get the ball back in play when the ball comes directly at him, and McEnroe instinctively knows where to play the volley to find the open course. McEnroe and Björkman could do there in their search for the elusive break of serve. Goldstein and Thomas lead 2-1, second set.
Ball. Right there. Keep coming.
A few fans
right there
making their way out of the stadium
and shoot the players
just to get a bite to eat, something to drink. But they've certainly got the money's worth today. The singles final was absolutely outstanding. The doubles one here is as close as it could be, really. The majority of them would like to see a McEnroe victory, the fairy tale ending to a week of hard toil from the left-handed maestro, but most, I think, just delighted that they've had an opportunity to see him compete. Once more, he's supported this tournament throughout his career. An outstanding record here. Won it 5 times in terms of the singles and 7 times in the doubles. Such a shame. A great return, and Thomas again was all over the net. The only place really Björkman could have afforded to put the ball was exactly where he did. Didn't mistime it. It was meant to go there. No change of formation for McEnroe and Björkman as they attempt to get that break of serve. Sometimes it's good to just mix things up a little bit, give the server something different to think about. where Björkman and McEnroe will feel that they've got an opportunity. So important to get an early lead in the game. Makes the world of difference. That's the shot he should have made. Though, when opposition get a high percentage of first serves in to make an effective return, so it's all about trying to make the most of the looks you get at the second serve. Good interception by Goldstein, moving forward before he made contact with the ball. Getting a little frustrated. Had a half chance there early on in the game. Goldstein and Thomas managing to hold serve. They lead 3 games to 2. Well, if you look down the doubles draw, you are hard pushed to look for household names that will bring fans into the stadium. Top seeds Simon Asplin and Todd Perry. Second seeds Wayne Arthurs. Yes, he plays singles and member of the Australian Davis Cup team. But Stephen Huss, even though he's Wimbledon champion, very few are aware of his credentials. And then of course the third seeds Jordan Kerr and Travis Parrott. And the fourth seeds Yaroslav Levinsky and Robert Lindstedt. And that's the problem, really. It's very, very difficult for the tournament to promote players that nobody's heard of, because they simply will not come and watch the matches that they're involved in. So that's why they were so excited to see someone like McEnroe take part in the event this week. Serving to get back on level terms, 2-3. Lovely combination. Did enough with the first volley to elicit the weak reply. Great return. McEnroe not quite quick enough into the net there. Got caught on or around the service line. Oh, such a shame. One of the best rallies of the match. Lovely hands from McEnroe. Both Thomas and Goldstein played their part in setting the point up nicely. Björkman had very little to do. And that backhand missed by a whisker. Lovely smash. A deep lob. Only way McEnroe was able to hit a winning shot from that position was to create an angle. Subtle use of the wrist. Contact with the ball. But of course, that's his great strength. Again, it's the quality of the serve and the first volley that's making life a little too difficult for those attempting to return. Trying everything, power, lobs, dinks, angles, none of it working so far. And it has to be said that Goldstein and Thomas look to be slightly on top in this second set, though nothing really matters until one of the teams manages to get a break of serve. That hasn't happened as yet. If you weren't with us earlier in the day, just a reminder that Andy Murray of Great Britain has been victorious in the singles event, winning his first ATP title. And he's had a terrific week, really. Defeated Marty Fish in the first round. His ranking has now plummeted to 289 in the world. He's had a couple of surgeries on his wrist. And of course, he was a little bit rusty. He hasn't competed for an awful long time. Murray won that match 6-2, 6-2, and then defeated Yitsu Wang, Taipei, in the second round. Wang, of course, beat James Blake in the opening round. Murray winning that encounter 6-4, 6-2. And the match that he really struggled in was quarterfinal encounter against Robin Soderling of Sweden. Murray winning that 4-6, 7-5, 6-4. But to dig himself a little bit of a hole in that second set, did well to get out of it. The big win, his first against a top 10 player, was against Andy Roddick in the semi-finals. Murray winning that 5-5, and then of course defeating Leighton Hewitt today in the final, 7-6 in the third. No breaks of serve as yet in this second set. Björkman at 3-4. hands again from the Swede. Without a doubt, the hardest hit return that got in the court in the match so far. Goldstein got a look at it. It was right up the middle of the court, has to be said. And he was able to use the pace of the oncoming delivery to good effect and then add a little bit of his own. Again, it was the quality of the return that set the point up nicely. The American pair. Good tennis. Björkman's been sharp as attack all night.
4 games all.
Always a good tactic to go straight at the opposition whenever you get the chance to do so, especially when you're very close to the net. Gives them very little time to react. Just missed it. Well left. Telling return from McEnroe. Good anticipation. Takes a lot of courage to make the cross when you're under pressure. Your partner's down to his second serve, but that's exactly the time when you want to try and help them out. Believe that he can miss such a simple shot. It used to happen in the good old days. Did it? Björkman does prefer the backhand return, so some sensible serving there, getting it to his slightly weaker ground stroke. Goldstein and Thomas edge into the lead once more. 5-4. It's at this stage in any set where the players would get a little bit more nervous. Signs of tension start to creep into the arm of all the players involved, and although Thomas and Goldstein find themselves a set down, they're only 4 points away from leveling matters, and then they're only a champion's tie-break away from winning the match. That's the beauty of this new scoring system. One team can be really on top, as McEnroe and Björkman are, and themselves a set to the good. And they're on serve in the second set, but that can change so very quickly. And that's what the organisers are hoping is going to make doubles this year a little more exciting for the fans, a little more unpredictable. Serve. Makes up for what he lacks in pace with excellent variation, point accuracy. Length on the second. Not the strongest part of Thomas's repertoire, ground strokes. As long as he keeps holding serve, he'll be keeping up his end of the bargain as far as his team's concerned. Brilliant hands from Björkman. Thomas did well there just to maintain his composure. This shot here, absolutely remarkable. And then to pull off that little backhand volley was quite extraordinary. But it did open up the court for Goldstein and Thomas. This is a big point. If Goldstein and Thomas can win it, they'll have set point. Long. Goldstein and Thomas choosing to return to the ad court, which is undoubtedly McEnroe's favourite side, but I think Goldstein will fancy his backhand return a little more than his forehand, so it's an interesting contest. Set point then for Goldstein and Thomas. He's made it. It's a terrific first volley by McEnroe. Did well to stay in the point as long as he did, but I thought Goldstein would fancy a couple of heavy ground strokes there. And we're all square. One set apiece. Well, now left the court. I'm sure just for nothing more than a little toilet break. I'm sure he'll return. Perhaps just a little more composed then. He will be at the moment, having just lost his serve to lose the second set. We're talking about the change of ends. 5-4. This new scoring system is very good because the situation can change so very quickly. Björkman comfortable holding serve in this second set, having won the first, and suddenly just one poor game, a couple of loose shots even. That's all it takes. It's really anybody's match. So the next couple of points going to be very, very important. It's such an advantage if you can build up a little bit of momentum. This stage in the match, champions tiebreak to decide the title. It's just wide. Interesting when looking at the two teams' records throughout the week. Goldstein and Thomas have been taking the distance in all of their matches and come through. McEnroe and Björkman played just the one champions tiebreak. That was in the semi-finals yesterday, where they won 10-8. It was tight, but I think our vantage point, it looked just wide. First to 10 points, as long as you win by 2.
Come on! 1-all.
Serving. That's what the partnership needed, just to settle the nerves back into the old routine. is. That's what they've been looking for. An effective return and then some good movement at the net from Björkman. Must-win point really for Goldstein and Thomas here. Oh yes, what a return. Björkman prefers his backhand in the back of the court, but going a bit of sweeter forehand than that. Throughout the course of his career, it was an excellent serve into the body. Can't complain about the delivery, but it was a moment of magic from the Swede. Hey, McEnroe at his very best. The last 2 points have been vintage from both competitors. Dad's on his feet, and he's seen it all. It takes a lot to impress that gentleman. But this was something special. That's what the fans have come to see. Nothing Thomas and Goldstein could do about that. McEnroe and Björkman now, without a doubt, hold the upper hand. Only halfway there, remember. First 10 points. Good response. Goldstein in a perfect position there to make the interception. Confident that his partner would make a good return. Got his nose right over the net. Almost impossible for him to miss that volley. He might just have kept his team in the match, because 2-5 sounds a lot, but 2 serves to come bring them to within a point of the opposition. Maintained his concentration well. Really big serves, and Goldstein and Thomas are indeed right back in this tie-break.
That's funny, isn't it?
Still a mini break to the good. 5-4. Great anticipation from Björkman. That's what it was all about. Good little pick-up, excellent return of serve from Goldstein, but it was Björkman's movement after the half-volley pick-up here. He correctly anticipated the fact that that's where Goldstein was going to try and put the ball up the middle of the court. He's done so throughout the match. And Thomas was left stranded. Change of tactics. Good to give McEnroe and Björkman something different to think about. McEnroe hasn't really returned well throughout the match. Served okay, even though he's had his serve broken once in each set, and that hadn't happened before today's match this week. Volleys have been pretty good. The reactions have been there when he's needed them most, but the return of serve let him down on occasion. An awful lot of work for Goldstein and Thomas to do. Björkman and McEnroe just 3 points away from victory. Deep. Pressure really was just a little too much, I think, in the end. And McEnroe 2 points away with 2 serves to come. And it would be nice, wouldn't it? A fairy tale ending, really, if McEnroe could finish things off. Good first volley, and his hands have been exceptionally quick today. But just swinging a little too much on that forehand volley. Anxious perhaps to put the ball away, knowing that had it gone in, it would have given them championship point. As it stands, Goldstein and Thomas still in the match. Just enough on the serve. He's attempting to run around, use the forehand, got a little close to the ball. Nervous moments. Put that in the stand. And Björkman have championship point. Björkman did well, really, to get out of the way of the smash. Delight for McEnroe and Björkman, and for Dad. A very entertaining match, a terrific week really, as far as all the tournament's concerned, given that the wildcard pairing of Jonas Björkman and John McEnroe have been victorious. A 70th doubles title for the American and the 44th for the Swede. Terrific stuff. A little piece of history in the making. Well, fairy tale ending. McEnroe hitting the winning shot. And it's not often you see him smile as broadly as that on a tennis court. It wasn't a vintage performance by any stretch of the imagination, but showing us at 47 years of age that he can still compete to a certain level. I mean, let's make no bones about it, it's not the strongest doubles field that you're ever likely to see, but a couple of good pairs in there. And both Björkman and McEnroe played their part throughout the week. Disappointment then for Goldstein and Thomas. They'll feel that having won that second set that they had the momentum going into the champions tiebreak, but a couple of inspirational shots from both Björkman and McEnroe early on meant that they always were playing catch-up, and it just became a little too difficult at the end. But they've certainly rode their luck this week, won all their matches in the champions tiebreak, and it's dicey at best, so they will be pleased when they look back on this match. And it's a nice story to tell the grandkids that they did take on the great John McEnroe in the final of the tournament, but it would have been even nicer to say that they would have beaten one of the greatest players ever to play the game. McEnroe, of course, said at the beginning of the week he's not making a comeback full-time on the tour, but he's just trying to highlight the plight of doubles at the moment. He feels that it hasn't been promoted as well as perhaps it should have been, and he hoped by playing this week he could publicize the game in a positive light, and I think that has certainly been the case. These fans probably wouldn't have stayed around to try and get a glimpse of the great man and a signature or perhaps a photo. And I doubt we'd be televising the match if he wasn't taking part. So it's been the perfect end, really, as far as the tournament's concerned. They had a terrific singles final. Andy Murray beating Leighton Hewitt in the final, 7-6 in the third. That went the distance.
And as I said, I felt like I had it in me, but I didn't quite know what was going to happen. But I felt good that first day, so I knew I had a chance. And you know, as I've told you before, the key to success is, you know, working together with your partner and also picking a good partner. And so I did that. And, you know, we have a similar energy, and we pumped each other up. And, you know, we knew these guys beat the first and the third seed. We beat the second and fourth, so we knew it was coming down to the end. And not surprisingly, it went to the final tiebreaker, but the right team won.
All right.
Jonas, you'd probably agree with that statement, I guess. When did you think you had this thing tucked away?
Well, it's always tough to come through and win a title like this, but you know, we've been playing great from the start, just been playing better and better the further the tournament went, and today we had to pick it up even more, and you know, it looked like it was running away there after losing the second set, but we came out strong and did a great super tiebreak.
John, we talked to your trainer last night. He tells me that you may be in better shape now than you were 10 years ago. What do you think?
Well, you know, he's not in as good a shape. He hurt his knee, but I want to thank Gary Kitchell, who's over there taking care of me, keeping my body in good shape, and also Pat Menaki, who's in New York and gets me working out in the gym, and so they keep me, you know, feeling pretty good for a gray-haired guy. Barry, my old man's over there. He's, you know, got some energy in the corner over there, and he's got a couple Marines with him also. And so they're, you know, it's God bless America. And my buddy Kenny Marjoram over there has been here every match, and he is the man. He's, you know, we've known each other since our Stanford days, and these Stanford guys, I want to thank them. They played great tournament, but they realized that the old Stanford guy would deserve one last run.
All right. Jonas, when you guys conference up there right before each point, when you're serving, who's the boss out there?
I'm not sure. I think it's a mixture, actually, depending on how you feel, and like we've done with the break points. One of us been feeling great. He's been coming up and say, "Okay, I take it." So it's been either one, and then sometimes John comes in my service games. But you know, that's teamwork. That's what doubles is all about. You know, to help each other out there.
A lot of people asking me, John, you're going to keep going? There's a little tournament up in Las Vegas in about 10 days on a thing called the Tennis Channel.
Well, I've got to enjoy this for a little bit, so I'm going to take at least a few months off. minimum. So I'm going to go back on the tour where I belong, the Seniors Tour. And then I'm going to, you know, enjoy this, and then, you know, tell these, yeah, I could go there and, you know, play well there, and let them think about it a little bit, and then we'll see what develops.
Congratulations, John. Well done. Jonas, well done.
Thank you.
Back to you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you, Barry, and yes, it was well done. Boy, some real veterans.
Well, it was a terrific performance by McEnroe and Björkman. It was the result that the fans wanted, and he's managed to win this tournament 8 times in doubles, 5 times in singles with 3 different partners. Terrific performance, given the fact that it's spanned 3 or 4 generations, really, has to be said. And those that stayed to watch were witnessing just a little bit of history, which is always nice. Will it improve doubles in the future? The rule changes? Well, I'm not so sure. I certainly don't think you're going to get many highly ranked singles players playing the game, which is what the ATP and the tournament promoters wanted. That's not going to happen. There's too much prize money in singles, and there's no need for them to step onto the doubles court. So really, if doubles is to succeed in its own entity, it does need to produce its own characters and stars. Is there enough of those? Well, I'm not so sure. It remains to be seen whether the quicker, shorter matches are better. I certainly think they are. There's no doubt about that. The fact that we got the exciting end to the match there very quickly was exactly why the rule changes were made. And so I think that has certainly been
Ladies and gentlemen, how a big hand for
very
4
positive.
great players. Of course, we've seen history made, and I think that everybody is going to go home happy about the 2006 SAP Open for singles and for doubles. And right now, let's present the finalists, their trophies and their checks. Let's go to Greg Jameson, the President and Chief Executive Officer of SVS&E, Silicon Valley Sports and Entertainment.
Thank you very much, Dan. Again, on behalf of SVSNE, we want to thank all the fans for being here for both the singles and doubles. Thank you very much for the 2006 SAP Open. I also want to, again, thank Bill Rapp for an outstanding job as tournament director, and we look forward to your attendance next year in 2007. Paul and Jim, if you've come forward. Obviously, Stanford is very well represented this week. On behalf of the SAP Open, thank you for your participation. It's been a great tournament. You guys did a great job, and we're looking forward to seeing you next year. Thanks again. Dan?
Thank you very much, well throughout the week.
President and CEO of Silicon Valley Sports and Entertainment. Let's talk to the finalists. First of all, let's go to Paul. Paul, your thoughts about being a four-time Stanford All-American and facing another All-American in this tournament?
Well, I'll tell you, I think, you know, for both Jim and I, particularly me being in my adopted hometown here in the Bay Area, to get a chance to be on the court with John McEnroe in the finals of an ATP event is a real thrill. Is a memory that I'll hold fondly for the rest of my life, for sure. I just want to say thanks to John, I mean, for his passion for the game, for all of us who love the game of tennis. You know, it's been 12 years since you played an ATP event, but, you know, over the last 12 years, whether it be through your commentary, whether it be through voicing your opinions about the game, whether you're criticizing the game or praising the game, you're bringing exposure to it, and everyone knows that in your heart you have your best interests in mind. And all of us who love the game of tennis, I mean, the impact you're bringing to the sport is, I appreciate as a player trying to make it in this business. You know, we were talking to a Czech player you beat in the semis, and he was saying back home in Czech Republic, the SAP Open is getting more run than the Olympics. It's got everything to do with John, and so, you know, I just want to say I appreciate the impact you're making on the game, and thanks.
Paul Goldstein, thank you. Jim, you guys were sometimes stronger and sometimes smarter and sometimes better, but not quite enough this time. But what are your thoughts about playing in the tournament and being a finalist?
Well, from the moment I heard that John was going to play in the event a couple months ago, I thought, and I had this strange thought that we were going to play. And I grew up watching him, and to play him in the final here was outstanding. And also Paul's thoughts about John coming and playing and helping promote the game of tennis. You know, it's great for him to be out here.
What about what he's done for doubles? The fact that doubles needs a little bit more attention and what this tournament has done.
It's fantastic. Bill's done a great job this week. There's been so many doubles matches here in the arena, and the crowds have been great, and in large part thanks to these guys, so it's been good.
Well done. Congratulations. Let's have a big hand for the finalists. And now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for, I think, for a whole week, and that is to present the doubles champions of the 2006 SAP Open. To present that, we have the Senior Vice President and General Manager of the SAP America's Western Region, Chris McLean.
Thanks, Dan. Hey, John, Jonas, thank you, John and Jonas, for a great week of tennis, and congratulations on winning the 2006 SAP Open. On behalf of SAP, I'd like to present both of you with the check and trophy. If you would step up, please.
The check will help.
Raymond Wild timepiece.
Trophy is always welcome.
Congratulations, Jonas. Congratulations, John.
It's the fact that they were able to win the title that matters most.
Congratulations to both of you guys.
Worked hard for the victory, and it will be appreciated.
Well, a lot of thoughts. It's been a long time for number 77 to be even. Now you get to 78. How does it feel?
Well, it feels pretty awesome. So, you know, I may have to think about playing a little more. But the fans here have been great all week, so thank you to the fans. And also, Bill, you've done, you know, a good job coercing me into playing this tournament. Now I appreciate it. You know, if I'd lost first round, I would have said you're a real son of a, you know what. But, you know, you fans have made it a lot of fun, and hopefully by me playing, they prove a couple things, that old guys can play a little bit, and also that doubles is a great game. And I'm not quite as smart as these guys. You know, they're Stanford graduates, and but I appreciate it was very well spoken, and I appreciate that. And finally, to Jonas, because he was carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders. He was going to get laughed out of the locker room if we bombed, and so the pressure was on, and he carried the old man well. So Jonas, thank you very much, man.
Thanks.
And hopefully you'll see me again.
We hope so. John McEnroe. And now Jonas. They say that you've done just about everything in the world of tennis. You've been #1, of course, in doubles. You've been #4 in singles, which a lot of people don't remember. And I think you deserve a lot of credit for it. But do you think that this tournament proves your versatility really as a doubles player, just because of the positions that you were playing in the deuce court?
No, I mean, it's always... to play well in doubles, you always need to have a good teamwork. And you know, I've been playing from that deuce court when I started my career, so I was used to it in the past, and well, playing Davis Cup last week helped a little bit. So you know, it's always a team effort in playing doubles. You win, you share the winning, and you share the losing. So I had a good help as well.
Well, obviously you did. And, you know, one other thought, don't you think that this is a great promotion for obviously the double sport, as John said a moment ago?
It's great. I mean, we have so much to thank John to, like Paul said, you know, he does a great job to push the doubles, push the singles, and push the game of tennis when he's on the court or when he's in the commentating booth. And you know, hopefully we showed a lot that especially doubles is a great game, and hopefully we can continue and work hard and promote the game and get it back on top.
How's this rate with all of your experiences in the...
Well, I have my Grand Slams, but I got to say this one is definitely up there. It's such a great moment for me to, when I'm done with my tennis, to say that I won a doubles tournament with John McEnroe. So it's going to be very special.
It is very special indeed. And on behalf of the entire SAP Open staff, I certainly want to thank John McEnroe and Jonas Björkman, and of course Jim Thomas and Paul Goldstein for giving us a spectacular final. Let's hear it for everybody.
It was a very entertaining match. It's been a week of good tennis. Andy Murray, of course, winning the singles, his first ATP title, defeating Leighton Hewitt in the final, 7-6 in the third. Very exciting match there. And then the doubles final going the distance too. So couldn't have really worked out any better for tournament officials and fans alike. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage this week of the SAP Open. I'm Jason Goodall, bidding you farewell.